Gilby.
Wrestling is dead.
Welcome to what is technically episode 9 of Indie Wrestling is Dead, and I'm here, Andrew Bowers, reporting from North HQ in sunny North Shields, flying through the internet waves from the banks of the River Tyne in his self-isolation inspiration station. It's the Jeff Linton of North Wrestling. It's Mr. Tom Campbell.
What? Mr. Bond, we meet again. Oh God! Oh gosh! He did not wanna do Bond villain with me. He did not want to do Bond villain with me. Ow!
And ladies and gentlemen, the man who's got the coronavirus vaccination, he's found it. He's trying it. Give him a week and he'll eradicate this damn virus off the face of the goddamn planet. It's Dr. Chop, PhD. What does that stand for, Tom?
Pay his dues.
Yeah.
What's up, Queeps? Yes. What's up, peeps?
Quips!
Oh, even better, Queeps.
In the creep zone? Well, lads, since the last time we were sat around Pablo's dinner table, what the fuck has happened? We were joking about Tom having that lurgy, having that cough. We were talking to the never injured HT Drake, and we were getting hyped for Let the Cannons Fly 3. Now we're all in Corona jail. HT Drake picked up an injury since rehabbed it, and we cancelled our next fucking show. What the fuck?
Are we still getting paid for the next show? That's all me and Tom want to know.
Oh, that's a good shout, actually. Yeah, we haven't talked about this. Admin.
No.
What do you mean, no?
No.
I have a downside guarantee, mate.
Your downside guarantee is your full-time job.
I mean, that is helpful.
So
although my full-time job is now been moved to my spare room.
So I was going to ask, what's happening with Cultaholic? Are you all locked down then? Are you all working from home?
It is business as normal in terms of watching videos. Like, everything's still going ahead as planned, but we have now moved out of the offices and we are all in isolation at our own homes. I'm currently sat in what was my spare room that has now become the Cultaholic office. You can see just behind me, we have a camera set up along with lights.
Pretty cool, though, right?
Isn't it?
It does. She's a casting couch
Looks like,
behind me.
I was going to say, it looks like Chop's spare room circa 2010.
And also, due to lack of a pop guard, I have a sock around my Blue Yeti. There you go. My snowball.
I know, I need to find a pop guard.
Yeah,
we're all on the...
But with Cultaholic, is business as normal. Keen to point that out. There's still videos going out at the normal times. Podcasts still going out at the normal times. Just looks a little bit different. We're all right.
And I'm at the front line of it, fighting it.
You are, yeah. People don't know, Chop, you're an NHS porter, right?
Yes, I drive the medical records van.
So for this, just for this short moment, it'll be the only time where you've paid some dues elsewhere. We'll give you some credit for that.
Corona dues.
That's it now, you fucked. That's it, done. That's it. So what we're going to try and do, I think, is kind of, I think like everyone else is just trying to put out as much content as possible. Mainly because we're going to be bored as fuck. We haven't got a show. That means we won't have had a show for 5 months. We might be doing some type of something recorded wise. No fan show. People are doing that, but we might try and do something different. It all depends on what happens as well, because it might turn around in schools might get closed by as soon as tomorrow, Friday. They're talking about, so we might all be locked down into not being able to gather together. But we're going to try and definitely do more of these podcasts.
Definitely,
we are going to put it out as much as we possibly can, but you have to also bear in mind that it's a bit of a new, it's new territory for a lot of us. With that in mind, Bowers, when you talk, if you could hold your mic away from your clothes, because it stops it making like clacking noise against.
How is it?
Against
No, it's here. See, I've got a.
Oh, is it?
Oh,
Well, something's
is it picking
making.
up? Ooh, okay.
Something's picking up a clacking noise. I thought that was your lapel mic. I do apologise.
Yeah, hang on a minute.
You definitely hear like a rubbing noise. Can you hear that, Chop?
Yes, it sounds like it's that little mic on his top.
That's a bit better, isn't it?
That's 10 times better.
There we go.
Bowers has finally
progress,
entered
lads.
the Corona 21st century.
Well,
The last time I loved Corona this much, it was when they released Rhythm of the Night.
Well, what I would say is that was the first sound issue that was my fault.
Oh. Right, okay. So, when we recorded last time at the Pablo Mansion, Bowers and Mr. H.T. Drake decided to start pressing buttons like they usually do.
No.
And I get home and realise one side of the microphone, which is me and Tom, was working absolutely fine. Mm-hmm. But Bowers and Howard on the other side sounded like little child mice. You couldn't hear a bloody thing.
So what time was it that ours started working? Was it around about like with
The 55-minute mark?
Yeah, and that was probably about the time that we started pushing buttons. So
Maybe.
it was probably the pushing buttons that fixed it.
Okay. I'll take the blame for this one, right? Because I'm the technician and I should have made sure. I'm the producer of the show.
Yeah.
So, in all regards, for my punishment, I will take a chop. There you go. I will take a chop of anyone the cult, the Queeps choose. Except Rampage Brown.
Stop
Yeah, Walter, but we're never going to book Walter, are we? So, there you go. There's a challenge. I will take a chop on the next question of North, whatever we have a chance. I will take a chop of whoever you want to choose. Go wild.
So we'll do,
Are we booking Braun Strowman for the next?
No.
We've booked Jeff Capes.
The shot putter. Yes.
Oh, shit.
It was unfortunate. It was unfortunate that the microphone on the side of the two quietest men in the room wasn't working, but the microphone next to the two gobshites was working fine. I think if they'd been the other way around, I don't think anybody would notice any difference.
Very true.
That's very true. Well, I think we should put that one definitely out either Instagram or Twitter, and we'll see maybe on the Discord channel, and we'll just say, look, Chop's really sorry, but he's going to live up to his name, and we'll clip this little bit as well.
I'll even take your top off.
Well, you
don't
know.
need to do that.
I thought this is a punishment for you. No, I'm kidding. You've got a body like an angel.
As Rampage was you
Former
bunch of
defender Brett
bastards.
Angel.
Yeah, bunch of bastards.
But yeah, Chop will take a chop because he ruined a whole podcast. Don't worry about it. We only had to take an afternoon out of our busy lives to get.
If we're doing apologies, can I apologise to my good lady? Thank you, because all was going fine in our planet until this morning when I woke up with a humdinger of a horrible cough.
I didn't know where that was going.
Yeah.
From someone who's had crabs. I just didn't know where that was going.
They are delicious, depending where you get them from. But obviously, in the times that we live in, the presence of a nasty new cough is normally a sign of, and you are done. And now, obviously, the new ruling in the UK is that if you have symptoms, then your whole house is isolated. So Alex, who had a whole week of work booked in next week, is now isolated with me and feel awful. And I don't think I'll be able to apologise enough, but I will certainly
there's not much.
try.
Well, you can't apologise for catching a cough. Unless
Do you know what I feel like? I'll tell you what I feel like. I feel like I'm playing like I feel like I'm playing the life MMORPG, and I feel like my character's just died. And I'm now leaving my team to fight on. Like I genuinely thought I had some work for the BBC all booked in, but I was going to save the day there, and I was going to do some other bits and pieces for people, but now I can't. Like I genuinely feel like my character's died, and I've run out of Phoenix Downs, and I'm just out for 2 weeks. So it's infuriating.
I do feel like servers are going to go down soon. I feel like everyone's going to be the same. I think everyone's not going to be able to log on. I think quite soon. And it was that's when we cancelled the show. Weirdly, I just had this intense anxiety the night before because it was fucking hell. I mean, it's not my fault. It's not anyone's fault that we're in this position. But it's still this is the thing we've got to be a little bit careful of, I think. And there's been a couple of people I've talked about this too, is like mental health and how people deal with stuff. And I think we've got to be careful about how we deal with all of this, with our lives kind of like grinding to a halt, because I'm normally quite resilient to stuff, but even before, announcing that we would cancel that show, I felt awful. I felt absolutely terrible. I felt really, really guilty. And, it's none of our fault. This is just the way it fucking is. And I think the same with you, Tom. It's like, it's just one of those things. So we will persevere. We will carry on.
Yeah.
So anyway, in light of that, I'm just going to do a quick Grapple Clothing sponsor spot. Now, we normally do it like with the music and stuff like that, but we just want to say Connor was supposed to be going out to WrestleMania. He had a big thing that he was going to do, I think, GCW shows. He's going to do a pop-up shop there. So it's a really fucking difficult time for him. It's a really difficult time for everyone, but he's giving everyone a 25% across-the-board discount at grappleclothing.co.uk with 25 off. That's 25OFF code. So I think every bit helps everybody. But we know that people haven't got a lot to spare, and don't feel guilty if you also can't support. Everyone's got to kind of support themselves, support each other. It's a tough one at the minute.
I bet you wish you kept them toilet rolls though that we use for Shreddy though. You would have made a bloody killing.
Shreddy's laughing now.
I could have got them up on
Yeah,
Amazon.
you threw them all at me the other week. Doesn't it feel weird? Like and you said at the very beginning, Bowers, how like last time we sat around the table, I had a bit of flu, but we were laughing and joking. The world was still ticking over, and it just feels like that. It's like weird. Everything has just caved in on itself. It's such a weird time.
But at the same time,
the greater wrestling world's the same.
Nothing too much has changed between us. Like, yes, the government's telling us we can't do stuff, but like between the three, we'd still be going to a show, wouldn't we? We'd still be doing things if they hadn't told us. But
Yeah, well, let's not get.
I like to use
politics. Let's not get.
I like to have a walk. There's a coffee shop I like in town. Oh, there's a coffee shop I like just up the road. I love to go and have a little cheeky coffee on when I'm having a day off. And it's like, oh, I now can't do that for 2 weeks. Yeah. And it's so, and it's just, and I get it. Like this is where, like with mental health and stuff, this is going to be a really trying time. So like I'm like as much as the good lady's annoyed with me at the moment, like I'm very blessed to be spending 2 weeks with my best friend. In the grand scheme of things, and I know there's people that aren't as lucky. And what I would say is, that as well. But there's
I noticed I can't say shit today, but I've got to be good.
You have to be. Yeah, you're right. Some people aren't best friends with their better halves. But I know you are. I love how Chop looks around then, as if she's about to walk in.
I've barricaded the door. You can't get in my room because I've barricaded myself in so the kids don't fucking run in.
Oh, that's a shame. But what I would say is, and I think I speak for everybody on this podcast today, like our doors are always open, our DMs are always slidable, our inboxes are never full. Do come and say hello. Come chat. Make time. Don't shut yourself away and feel like you're on your own. Yeah. You are 1,000% not on your own. It's a weird time for everybody.
And we're all in this together.
In it together. Yes! We're all in this together.
That's the show that I should put up. We're in this together. NCL 3? NCL 2? NCL 3?
Do it. Does it have comms? Does it have comms?
No.
Do you want comms for it? I have got a shed load of time on my hands.
Podcast.
I think what we should do
watch along.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So this is why I think it's also a good opportunity to kind of, rethink things a little bit and try and like put out different content out there and kind of think, fuck it, right, we're all stuck here. Let's be creative. And I think this is going to be the time where the most creative kind of flourish a little bit and do well. But yeah, we're all in this together.
And then I can add commentator onto my job list then, can't as well.
There you go. There you go.
Another one
of Jews that you haven't paid yet. Put commentary on. There you go.
Even work on that show.
You've heard it here first. Watch along if we're in this together.
Definitely, I think
it'll happen.
And I think watch-alongs are a really, really cool thing to do as well, because I think there was talk of Popping the Boys. They wanted to do a watch-along of the last Let the Cannons Fly or the first Let the Cannons Fly or something. I think they said the first Let the Cannons Fly, and I was like, ew. That's the one with the
definitely, they definitely should. Oh, can we? Oh, God, let's do. Right, I've got an idea, right? Us three are going to do this together. Us three are going to do this together, right? Yeah. Bowers, me and you are going to watch the first Let the Cannons Fly main event, the first scramble, and it's going to be your love letter / apology to the wrestling world.
To Rampage Brown.
To Rampage Brown. That's what we're going to do.
We can definitely do that. And I think that's part of it, isn't it? It's like, fuck it. Let's look at the stuff that we have done. I think social media, for a start as well, could actually become a force of good. For once, because it does feel like social media had become a bit of a cesspit of hate and just general nastiness, and it was just a bit intense. So, maybe social media can be looked at differently. I do see when I go out, people kind of treating each other a little bit differently. I see people treating people pretty fucking badly, but I see some people, the normal people, the nice people who are normally nice, start to kind of treat each other a little nicer, if that makes sense. I picked up a takeaway the other day, and there's about 4 or 5 people in takeaway who would never have spoken to each other. We're kind of like, is everything okay? How are you guys dealing?
Like a Christmas Day.
Yeah.
You speak to people on Christmas Day, huh?
And then Bowers cleared his throat and got thrown through the window.
And then it went,
Get out!
So anyway, yeah, I think that's like the underlying thing of that is that we're going to try and create a little bit more content if we've got time. It's difficult as well because there's so much going on. We don't know what's going to change day by day. Me and Chopper got kids as well. Tom's got a fucking job which relies on creating content as well.
Pablo.
So Pablo as well.
Pablo's fine. Pablo's like, you got 2 weeks knocking around their house. Oh, bloody hell, I'll be kibble. I've been doing this for 6 months.
What about a whole life?
It's my life, mate.
So bear with us, but I think we're going to try and be quite regular through it as well. I think we're going to try and do half-an-hour ones rather than the big kind of 2-hour long spiels. We'll try and cut stuff up and put it out.
We're going to try and get some special guests on.
I think what would be lovely as well is if we could have open up some communication with people if they're at home, if they're self-isolated, they've got any questions. It doesn't have to be about wrestling. It can just be about anything. It could be about chatting or whatever. Because
this was pretty simple to set up, wasn't it, between the three of us? Yeah, I was worried at first, thinking, I've got to try and... But this has been pretty good.
Apart from me not getting internet in my spare bedroom and having to decamp to my daughter's bedroom, who might walk in to get some plain paper to do some drawing in a minute, but that's fine. But yeah, other than that, it's been quite straightforward. I want to talk about wrestling for a second.
Yeah. Is it a wrestling show?
This is the part where we usually
never again. Nowhere ever again. I don't even think WrestleMania will happen. That's my professional opinion.
The behind the closed doors one?
Not even that one.
I'm with you on this.
Here's a bit of huge scope, right?
You still need 100 odd people, won't you? You need a lot of people to run that show, even with no fans, right?
Mm-hmm. Maybe not the performance centre. You wouldn't need 100 for a performance centre, would you?
I don't know.
I believe that Vince and WWE et al. Are waiting for the state of Florida to shut everything down.
I've heard this theory.
Once they do that, then the WWE can claim the insurance that they would on the money they would have lost from WrestleMania. They have to be seen to be. This is what I understand from other sources I have. They have to be seen to be trying to put WrestleMania on.
Yeah.
Right? If they just say we're not doing it, then they don't get any insurance. Sponsorship.
It's like the pubs and restaurants and things over here, where Boris, other countries have just gone, right, shut down.
Yeah.
You can claim on your business insurance. But it's funny how our Prime Minister, who might have his hand in the pocket of some insurance companies...
Oh, shit, I'm on video. I've just realised that.
He might have the hand in he might be friends with some of the guys who run these insurance companies and has decided, no, I'll just tell you not to go. But, you shouldn't go to these places, but we're not going to shut them down, so we're just going to let them.
Now,
and I do think with WWE, I think it's the same thing. If the government is saying people can't go to these things, then the government needs to shut these things down. And even a company like WWE, who could probably swallow a bit more of this cost up, but their costs are massive, by the way, so they're probably due to lose a hell of a lot of money anyway. They should be allowed to claim it on their insurance.
But this could come into our favour as well. If you think about it, because they use stadiums in April, March, when the football season in America's not used. So, when do our stadiums not get used?
Summer.
June, July, yeah? We could get
SummerSlam at Wembley.
It could happen. It could happen. You could get WrestleMania at Wembley.
The rumor is, and here's another the rumor is from some sources that I know, should WrestleMania not go ahead, there is talk that they will hold it in June at Madison Square Garden, because they had an MSG house show that they've just cancelled. They want to keep in really good favour with MSG. Because obviously AEW and New Japan are sniffing around. There is a possibility that they could, if WrestleMania doesn't happen in the way that it's going to happen, and I kind of hope it doesn't, the plan is a big... No, it'd be really weird. The plan is a big feel-good restart of the wrestling world in June at Madison Square Garden, and then Drew McIntyre standing tall, winning the WWE title at MSG. That already gives me a bit of goosebumps. Yeah, I'm all right with that.
The other thing as well is all of the independent, especially mainly American independent promotions that fly into WrestleMania weekend and use that whole weekend as like their jumping pad for the whole fucking year. And financially, like the kind of, it's again, if you look at football and with coronavirus and they're talking about, you know, suspending or calling the season null and void. I won't get into that now. I've got a lot of opinion on that, but we're not a football show.
Stay tuned for Andrew Bauer's football podcast, launching this week, strangely.
But we've got, you know, if you look at football, fine, you know, Liverpool and whatever. What about the grassroots? What about, you know, they're not getting their match day income coming in at the minute, so what the fuck do they do?
But they're still paying their pitch fees and shit like that, which is harsh for them.
Still, everyone's got to pay the bills, everyone's got to pay the mortgages, everyone's got to pay the staff. Simple as that. So it's the same with WrestleMania as well, though, where it's like, what about the independents who had put, I think there was that WrestleCon or something like that, who've had to cancel something.
Oh, this is terrible. So
the guy's having to sell his house or something.
Well, this is the guy who runs WrestleCon. It gets worse than that, because the guy who was putting on WrestleCon cancelled the show and contacted the Marriott about using their insurance cover, because they had an insurance thing in place for the Marriott to say the event can't go ahead, they get the money back. The Marriott turned around. Well, one of the spokesmen for the Marriott for that particular branch sent an email back saying, actually, we're not going to action that because we do believe you still can technically put the event on, and if you cancel, you owe us $118,000, which is madness. Now, by the time this goes up, chances are that's been sorted, because this was an email, as it transpired, that came from somebody within that branch of the Marriott who was doing their job. So by now, the greater gods at Marriott have heard this, and no doubt, and I even in these troubled times, I hold out faith in humanity. No doubt, they have gone, all right, let's waive that.
You hope
See you soon.
Really
hope so.
But it's this thing again. It's like, what? Like, and again, we're not getting to this, but what is the fucking point in paying
exactly?
Insurance?
Well, it's kind of obviously hotels are losing out a lot of money. Like all these places are losing money, so I think suddenly you're going to have. Oh, my camera went off. Sorry, let me just turn that back on. You're going to have a lot of businesses that are suddenly going to struggle, like hotel chains. Yeah. So I guess for them, it's trying to recoup as much money as they can. So if they can possibly... Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm plugging my thing in. It's all gone horribly wrong. Oh, God.
You're there.
I thought Pablo jumping at me was going to be the bad part of the show. But if a hotel can recoup like $100,000, then it kind of offsets a lot of their other financial woes at this point. But it's still, in the same time, it's still a real dick move during a horrible time.
Yeah, and I think that's like the vibe for that for me is like, let's all not get in pissing contests.
Yes.
Tom's camera's just fallen over.
I'm having a great day.
Let's not get in pissing contests, because and you know what? I'm not going to name any names. And I've been sent some screenshots of stuff, but there are people who are getting in pissing contests to put out content and not copy content. And those people, I don't think they're going to be listening to this, but if they are listening to this, they know who they are. I mean, that's
sorry, I'll just say what I want.
They said that to us, but you know, good on you, because if you're just looking at this as an opportunity to kind of get your brand or your product over okay, good.
We should
Go
all
on.
be used.
Right.
We should all be
That's
like,
not the
as
point.
you said at the start of this, we should all be looking for that opportunity to expand content in one way, shape, or another. We should really be
But for
we
no
should really-
reason other than to do it for the
Yeah.
love of creating stuff. I think the one thing that I'm missing the most is not putting on a wrestling show. It's got nothing
Yeah.
to do with trying to jump ahead of anyone else. And like we did the stuff with refunds and foregoing refunds. If you were lucky enough to be in a position to forego a refund and give it to somebody who relies on that ticket for money, like. But we can pay all of our refunds back. We got no problem in doing that because we got the money in the bank, because we've been responsible, because we didn't ever want to get to this situation where, well, I don't, where I owe anyone fuckloads of money. So I then don't want to be in a position now where we're like, we're going to create content that's better than you. And it like, look, we're just
there's
gonna
bigger
create
issues.
It's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice.
Correct.
We
And I
all
think
need to rise above it right now and be
Correct.
better people for it.
I think so too, and I think the case, what we're trying to do is just continue north, and we love north, and we know that there's other people who do, and it's just and I want everyone else, every other promotion out there, to do exactly the same thing. So anyway, that's my soapbox moment. We've talked about WrestleMania, we've talked about why we're creating content, and we've talked about coronavirus and everything. Let's talk about the other biggest thing that happened in wrestling, and it was the last bit of live wrestling that all three of us saw. And it was Mr. Tom Campbell's in-ring debut, main event wrestling in Long Benton.
Chop splicey in the code breaker / lung blower that I took off HT Drake.
Oh my god.
That was a time.
God.
How was it? I was quite proud of the lung blower.
I mean, isn't it mad that's probably going to be... I mean, I got really, really quite drunk. Oh, sorry. I got really, really quite drunk that show, because it's really rare that I go to like live wrestling. So it was like my first MEW show. So I sat up with... I ended up sitting up with Rory Coyle because I got there way too late. Didn't have a seat. We sat up in the...
Embarrass seats.
I was looking down. I didn't want to sit on the riff raff.
Yeah.
No, I didn't want to sit on the heater. I was sitting on the heater and it was fucking boiling. I was sitting
You had the
next to you,
heat
Chop.
away from the heater.
Exactly. And I think pretty much because I got very drunk, although there was a fucking great match between Adam Maxted and
saying that. Yeah.
Oh man, that was fucking brilliant. My last real memory of the whole thing was Tom Campbell in the ring. How did you enjoy it, Tom?
Do you know what? Behind the curtain on all this, it was something I was dreading for quite a while. Quietly dreading, because I am not in shape, and I got quite, as you heard from listening to the podcast, I got quite poorly at the start of this year. Basically, from the moment I turned 36, I've just been ill. Which is like, I've not been ill for like 30 years, and now it's like my whole body's gone, all right, getting old
You're
now,
old
boy.
now. Yeah.
Here's all the illness, have it all. Have some coronavirus on top of that, why not?
Definitely our age.
but
Like.
that's it, innit? It's just creeping up. But I was nervous. I was really nervous. But I genuinely, and Alex echoes, my good lady echoes my my sentiment here, where it's like, I was interacting with HT Drake. Yeah. And I couldn't have been happier about that. If it had been anybody else, I would have been more nervous.
Yeah.
But
He's the man
the fact that I'm in there with a guy like HT Drake,
He's the man you want when you punch him in the bollocks, though, isn't he?
I think, Chop, you saw this, so you should tell this story.
Brilliant. So they're going through a show. Do we pull the curtain back too much? Go on, we'll do it because it's not our show.
Everyone knows. Okay, right. Wrestling is fake.
If you didn't know that,
He
just
said
Continue.
He
If you
said
didn't, then
Not
it's
me, he
fine.
said that.
Continue.
But,
Continue.
he was going through the match, and I wanted to just like stand ringside, listen to what they were going to do. I was really interested in how it was getting put together. And Tom says, "Well, I need to learn to take this code breaker move." So Howard says, "He'll show you how to do it." First attempt, perfect, absolutely perfect. Couldn't have asked for a better code breaker. Absolutely perfect. And then he goes, "Can I just do it one more time, please, Howard? Just to make sure I know where I'm at and, where I need to be positioned." Howard says, "Yeah, no problem. Comes in for the second one. Boom! As he landed, he punched him. He was looking for his fist on the mat. He punched him in the dick. In the dick. Howard then rolls to the outside. We're like, "Hey, you took a pretty good code breaker there. You all right, Howard?" He went... need to check to make sure my 2 boys are still here. I'll be back in a minute. You winded HT Drake nearly stopped them from making kids. And I was bawling with fucking tears, mate. It was so funny. But it was like, oh, bless. Because we didn't want to try not to laugh in your face as if to say, Tom fucked up, Tom. Because we didn't want to make any more nervous than God knows what you would have always. So we were like turning around just crying with laughter. And Howard's like, yeah, it's fine. Absolutely fucking fine.
A true pro.
But he was aced. Even after that, he was still like, look, if you punch me in the balls on the night, it's fine. Just take it however you need to take it.
Yeah.
Just do what you need to do. But it went all right.
It was the first time I've ever seen you in trainers. I don't know if you've got this, but I've never seen him in trainers before. He always wears shoes and like bloody.
I'm always well dressed,
very well dressed.
Apart from today, where I'm wearing a night rider.
He had like these multicoloured trainers on, like Shane McMahon would do. Like you'd come out with these proper super duper trainers. I was like, he's definitely going for a coast to coast with these trainers on.
I saw them in a sports shop, and I went, they are neon white. I'm gonna look like a dick if I wear them. I'm having them. I'm not blinking.
Whoa! I like them. You're trying to say I'd look a dick if I wore them. Oh, great!
You pull them off. I just look like an arse. You pull them off, mate.
You see how he's just classed me there. He's like, he's above here, and that the working class twat would look like a shithead in these trainers.
That's not what I'm saying. Like I have seen Chop in both trainers and in a full suit, and Chop is the sexiest man walking. Like in anything. Like I'm blessed in the sense that I've got one look that I pull off. Oh God! It's all gone wrong!
Can't pull that camera off though, can you?
Oh, I just try my best. He said pull off.
Have you ever noticed that mine's working absolutely fine? There's no problems with my microphone. My camera's absolutely spot on. Yeah, these two look clowns. We went through a run through yesterday. It went absolutely fine.
I'll give you a run through.
Going down towards that dick area. I was like, it's not that sort of video, lads. You know.
What I was trying to say is, I have one look that I pull off really well. You have multiple looks that you pull off excellently.
Thank you.
There you go.
That is seen in the Equestrian of North.
Exactly. There's proof in the pudding.
How many looks have you pulled off there? And if you go on our channel, our social media channels, you will find a video of the Chop Master. I think that was my favourite of Chop Master.
All right. Why? Because you had a little thing to say about his do's and all that shit backstage with Carl and that, and you got to write it all out, did you? And had a good laugh.
So funny.
That was just the Chop Master talking. I don't know what you're talking about, mate.
I watched it for the first time today.
For the first time I've given it to you like a month ago. What a
second time. And it's the bit. There's two bits that just crack me up. Is when you go to do like the move for like for you waiting for it's the butcher's bit, and he goes, "What did you buy today?" Proof.
And comedy timing.
You fucking bastard! I can't. And then it's the bit where there's like a whole long diatribe where he goes like, "I ain't on Sky Sports. I said fucking. I ran the fucking show." And I can even tell underneath that fucking mask, you go and kick the bottom rope, you're fuming. It's like a cartoony, like, like steam coming out of your ears.
I worked you, brother. I worked you.
I think it was the moment that it started, and you just hear, "Well, I've had a really good deal," and you hear the North Faithful immediately start laughing. And do you know what? When you put something like that together, and I'm always grateful for the North Faithful, when you put something like that together and then they start laughing, there is such a relief. There is such a relief. They're like, oh God, because sometimes my sense of humour is stupid, and not everyone's in on it with me. When they start laughing, I go, oh, thank God, it is actually funny.
Well, that was I think you also see, like, even with Carl, who's not really done anything.
Unsung hero for that, by the way.
Oh, well,
absolutely.
He's another unsung hero of North. There's plenty of them, but he does the EQs the music up. He's been there since show one. Like, he's done a lot of stuff that he's not, like, he's come outside of his comfort zone a hell of a lot, and that was definitely him coming outside of his comfort zone again. And you think, oh God, is Carl going to be okay doing this? Will he, half-ass it? And then as soon as that mic goes live, he's like, all right. Straight away.
Yeah.
I was like, you fucking nailed it.
Perfect, man. It was perfect. Great stuff. But that's on tonight, is it?
Yeah, so that's on tonight. I don't know when this is going to go out, but yeah, if you go onto our social media channels, you will see it on there.
And if you like the t-shirt that he's wearing, we're going to sell that shit on merch, aren't we?
Don't fuck.
We need paid as well, the frontline NHS staff, you know.
Paid.
You'll get to YouTube, mate.
Don't make out that I don't pay you. Right. So, okay, we're going to have some questions from some of the North Faithful. So, Glenn Donnelly on Twitter has asked us, is the June show going to be Let the Cannons Fly 3, or do you have other plans for it? Right, so I think this is a good question to ask. At the minute, don't know. Don't think so. I don't think it will be Let the Cannons Fly 3. Unfortunately, with the June show is pretty much booked up with other guys already. What we're looking to do, now whether I can do it or not, I'm not 100% sure. What we're looking to do is move Let the Cannons Fly 3 to another date. The Riverside have been really good. I requested that we moved it to May, and they kind of said, don't do May. Move it further back. And this was earlier this week. Obviously, the June show's June the 13th. We then got August the 1st, so that's not masses of time between. We might try and do one in August. We might try and do one in September. But we will shove it in somewhere. We'll get it.
And the ones at the back end, the dates haven't changed for that, have they? He's just going to keep them the same.
Nah, we've got to keep all them the same. So fingers crossed the June the 13th show will go ahead. You know, I'm pretty sure it will. But, you know, so just to confirm, it won't be Let the Cannons Fly 3. It'll be something else, which has already been booked. It's already a really fucking good show.
We're in this together.
Maybe we're in this together too, or 2020. But yeah,
can we call it Party Till You No Longer Have Coronavirus?
I mean, the thing is, how fucking exciting is that going to be, though? Like,
that's what first one back. Jeez,
I am going to lose my voice that night. Right, I'm going to lose my voice, and I'm going to get blind drunk.
Oh, big time!
And make regretful decisions.
Yeah,
100%.
Be there.
I had planned to do that for the one that went for the WrestleMania party, because I was going to get blind drunk till 4 o'clock in the morning. I had an excuse to stay out that late. You know what I mean?
I know, yeah. That was a shame, that, because we were all going to sit and watch WrestleMania together, and that's
Purple Bear, weren't we?
Yeah. But what, you know, there will be a rush for like promotions to be the first one post-corona.
Oh, let them. It's just it'll just be our first all show back. There's no, again, it's that whole thing of there's no, we want to do this for everybody else. Look, when the first all show is back, we will have a time. It doesn't matter who does it first. If somebody else wants to do it first,
it'll be
rock
sweet.
on. Do it. We'll do it when we're ready.
It will. So thanks for that, Glenn. But yeah, like I said, just keep, you know, it changes fucking day by day at the minute. Like, so just keep in touch with us. Keep on the Twitter, and we'll let you know. Another question. I'll tell you what we're going to do is we're going to take a couple of questions, and then we're going to do one little game, and then that will be it, because we're going to keep these quite short. So another question. Let me have a look at it. Let me find a good one. Okay.
I think yes. Oh, sorry. I thought that was the question.
What was the plan for Lana Austin at Let the Cannons Fly 3? Because
love our
obviously.
Lana Austin.
What we were kind of, and that comes from
what? We were going to get Lana?
Yeah.
That comes from Bow Photography on Twitter. He does really good photos of North and stuff like that.
He gave it away with, you know, when he was doing the help every wrestler out. He gave it away that like Lana Austin was going to appear on one of our shows.
It was like one of those things where it was like, So we put a big mega thread of everyone who was going to be on our show. You know, here's their social media links, or here's their big cartel. If you can help, please do. And it was like, do I keep kayfabe alive and go, well, we're not going to put you on, Lana, you've lost the booking. And it was also the Young Guns as well. It's like, oh, you've lost the booking, but and it was like, nah, fuck that. Like, let's just
share them.
Like, so the plan was for those three, Lana Austin, Ethan Allen, and Luke Jacobs, to be in the Rumble. So the Rumble was going to be a 20-man Rumble, still will be if it goes through, and that was the plan for them. And then obviously 2 were going to go through in the Rumble. I don't think we'd said it anywhere, but the plan was the final 2, the winner of the Rumble would go in at number 8 in the Scramble, and the runner-up of the Rumble would go in at number 1 in the Scramble. So that probably still will happen.
Was Lana going to be a surprise on the night?
I hadn't quite decided yet.
Oh.
It's difficult with Lana because like she's been requested so much, and definitely someone that we've wanted on North an awful lot. It was like, do we tell people, or is it actually worth having the surprises? So I was kind of like, I was still in two minds as to whether I was going to announce anyone for the Rumble. I kind of thought the way like tickets weren't going very well, like they went well, but like not as good as the show before. I think that was because of what was happening.
What with the COVID and all that.
Yeah, they went really, really well, and then like COVID came in, and it was like, we're not going to buy any more tickets.
And bought all the balcony seats, technically.
Yeah, and it was it was totally fine, but our on-demand service has gone through the roof as well. So who fucking knows? But yeah, so that was the plan for them. Really, really disappointed that we couldn't have them in a couple of weeks. It was only a couple of weeks away, but yeah, it would have been good to see them. So I think on that note, what we'll quickly do is just have a quick word about Pins and Knuckles, our merchant. They're our sponsor, our second sponsor. You head to pinsknuckleswrestlingmerch.com. You'll find a bunch of your favourite wrestling merchandise there. North wrestlers included are the Dirty Jog Gene Money. He's got like 5 different shirts up there. Chris Ridgway, Chuck Mambo, Flash Morgan Webster, Jimmy Havoc, Tony Storm, James Drake, Will Ospreay, Travis Banks, Zia Brookside, Simon Miller, and a bunch of other cool promotions. And guess what? Pins and Knuckles have also given us a special discount code. So you use the code NORTHPIN10 and you'll get 10% off.
I'm just writing that down. Just NORTHPIN10.
There you go.
Thank you.
Is it North with an O or a 0?
Oh, fucking hell, Tom.
North with an O, pin with an I, a 10
Pin with an I.
1 and a 0.
10 with a 1 and a 0. Got it.
Yeah. Oh, news top stories has just popped in. All schools.
Oh, there's the news.
I've been sitting on that button for flipping ages.
Oh my God.
It's your bummer.
Yeah.
Schools across the UK are shut down from as early as Friday.
England? Or is
There
it?
you go.
Oh, shit.
How long for?
Schools across England will be shut down from Friday until further notice, the government has announced.
Oh.
Hey, this is like Sky Sports News 24/7, isn't it?
Some schools will stay open to remain open for the children of key workers. So it means some youngsters, if their parents are on the front line, basically.
Porters.
Kids will go to. Are you on the front line, Chop?
Yeah.
Yeah. They'll go. They could go to different schools if they need.
Yeah.
What, like far away?
Down of the air. Down of the air, right over there.
Oh dear.
Hey, can you take our kids off us, government? Because I'd love a lion.
Anyway.
Yeah, Boris! Can you go take these little
Boris,
bastard
like, any
kids
chance-
away from me?
Could you look after our kids, like? We'll have a night in with all us.
It cost us less than friggin' takeaways, I tell you. Jesus Christ.
Chop prefers Chinese to kids. Oh gosh. Okay. Well.
Right.
on that
So
bombshell.
we've got a choice now of doing. We've got two things we can do now. So we can either do, game 1 or game 2. What game would you like to play?
You choose, Chop. Time to play the game.
2.
Okay, this is our new game. It's called, and this is a working title, Gessler the Wrestler.
Ooh.
You're a marketing genius, do you know that?
So this is Chop versus Tom. You got 10 clues.
Okay.
So you got to shout out. You get one guess each per clue. You got to shout brother to guess. Actually, Tom, you shout
Can
brother.
I have the gunshot instead?
You can have the gunshot. Yes. You can shout brother, Tom.
I'll shout brother.
You get one guess per clue. If you don't get it right, I win. House wins by the end of the 10 clues. All right. So clue number 1.
Ladies first, Tom.
Okay.
Thanks, mate. Shit before the show.
No,
oh wait,
no,
that
each
doesn't benefit
clue-
me either.
Each
Damn
clue
it.
you can guess. You can guess in each clue. It's not take turns. So if I'm reading out a clue and you want me to stop the clue and take a guess, you've got to shout. You've either got to do that stupid gunshot.
So are you just doing the quick fire round from A Question of North?
That's basically what it is. He's ripped your game.
Kind of, but you've got to guess who the person is.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. I saw a
clues.
podcast on Twitter going, coming up this week, we've had some ideas for new shows. Desert Island Graps. Are you...
What, like the Brit Wrestling is Dead podcast with
Rory
friggin' Kyle on the interview. What a big rip-off that is.
Is dead.
Bet they're not playing Gessler the wrestler.
I bet they're not.
Bet they are next week.
So I'm going to read out the... Yeah, with fucking special guest Chop.
Hey, if he's paying his ID.
Hey, thanks for having us on, like...
Okay, so have you got it? You're both allowed to guess on a clue. Whoever shouts out, I'll stop, and you can guess at each clue. You get to guess each clue, all right? So, right, first clue. I was born January 24th, 1965.
Ric Flair.
You fucking didn't do your sound.
Ric Flair.
No.
Okay, next
65.
Next clue.
Okay. You've got your guesses back now. I am the cousin of Hulk Hogan's nephew, Michael Belair, aka Horace Hogan, and I was married to my Chop.
Brutus Beefcake.
No, it's not. So you shut your mouth, Chop,
Yeah.
okay, Tom? The rest of this clue is I was married to my childhood sweetheart, Diana Bowers, in 1991. So I'm the cousin of Hulk Hogan's nephew, Michael Belair, a.k.a. Horace Hogan, and I was married to my childhood sweetheart, Diana Bowers, in 1991.
Davey Boy Smith?
No. Okay, clue 3. I was in the same class, alongside Dennis Knight, a.k.a. Naked Midian.
Brother...
Yeah.
Is it Christian?
Ooh, no. We're getting there, though. Any ideas, Chop? You got a guess on that clue?
Nah.
This silence is great for podcasts.
It's good in here. Silence is powerful. Big fan of silence in radio. Genuinely, I am.
Right. Clue 4. In 2000, I won the title of Worst Gimmick in the Wrestling Observer Newsletter Awards, but I also came seventh in the PWI 500.
Worst gimmick.
Disco Inferno.
No. Good guess, though.
Shit.
Your camera's off, though, Chop.
I know, because someone tried to friggin' ring us.
Oh, right.
From Doncaster.
Worst gimmick and in the PWI 500. In
Number
2000.
In 2000.
That was over 1999. Dude. Brad Armstrong?
Ooh, good guesses, but wrong. Right, clue 5. Earlier in my career, this is early in his career, I moved to Japan and wrestled under the name The Gladiator for FMW.
I know this. Thomas.
Damn,
Mike
I got it as well.
Awesome.
Wow! He won it! Chop wins!
Well done, Sharp.
So I'll tell you the rest of those clues. Early in my career, I moved to Japan and wrestled under the name The Gladiator for FMW, debuting as a monster villain in a street fight with Mr. Pogo versus Atsushi Onita and Jimmy Backlund. Number 6 was my ties to Japan will follow throughout my career, being convinced by Sabu to wrestle for ECW and becoming friends while we were out there. Number 7 was I feuded with Masato Tanaka and won the ECW title from the third longest holder of the belt in a triple threat match. I competed in ECW, WCW, TNA, and WWE, but he only won one belt. Do you know what that belt was?
In ECW?
He competed in ECW, WCW, TNA, and WWF. Actually, he won the ECW.
Yeah, I was going to say.
But only won one other belt.
Was that the WCW Hardcore?
It was the
belt?
WWF Hardcore Championship.
It was. In June 2001, after the purchase of WCW by WWF, I debuted on an episode of Raw in a match that saw Test defending his Hardcore Championship versus Rhino. I became the first member of the Invasion to gain gold in the WWF. It's good, isn't it? And his last clue, which I think would have been a giveaway, I debuted for WCW while still holding the ECW Championship before appearing at an ECW event a few days later, losing the title to a WWF employee, who in turn lost the belt 2 weeks later to a full-time ECW employee.
We are coming up to the... Yes, it was Taz and Mike Awesome.
Yeah, and
it was held...
Taz lost it to Tommy Dreamer, who then lost it immediately to Just Incredible.
And he had a match with Triple H on SmackDown with the belt. Taz did.
We're coming up to the 20th anniversary of that.
No fucking
happening.
way.
Yeah, it was in 2000 that happened. Spoiler.
Wasn't Valentine's Day, was it?
No, it wasn't. That's a special milestone for you there, Chop. Spoiler, I'm doing a 3-part documentary series on that for Cultaholic, which drops on the 20th anniversary. It's called 3 Days in April. And it's a 3-parter that goes into depth about what happened, who it happened with, why the bloody hell it happened, why was he doing that, why did they do that, what's that there? That's soon. Started writing it last week. I'm very excited about it.
That will be really fucking cool because I read through that, and that was Henry on Instagram who suggested that. So we're gonna play that game again.
Yeah, definitely.
1-0 up.
1-0 to Chops.
And I'm gonna make it fucking harder next time because you guys know your shit.
Well, the only reason I got Gladiator is because I used to get the tape trading years ago. So I knew Gladiator was Mike Awesome, and I picked up on that straight away.
Who are you tape trading with?
Oh, it's just, you know when you used to get the torrent sites, when the first... Right, there's a torrent site called Extreme Wrestling Torrents.
Yes.
And that's been going for like
that,
fucking years. And that's where I used to get all like my early days of torrents on like... what was the old thing called? BitComet. Do you remember BitComet?
Yeah. I used to download like 2005 Ring of Honor a lot on that one.
Well, like teenager.
You guys just shouting about all your illegal actions.
But I didn't. Yeah, that's true actually. But I didn't seed, so I used to get kicked.
Yeah, I've had about 20 different emails.
It's all right.
Yeah.
It's all right. I had an affair,
Anyway,
but
right,
I didn't come.
You must have come once. Oh,
it's very rude.
Right then, I think that's
on that note.
Yeah, for first episode. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Cool. We're done. We'll see.
Do you not want to do an outro like Bowers? Or you just say, "Right, fuck you, see you later."
You should do an outro.
Do an outro for the episode.
Okay. Episode 9. I guess it's episode 9. Episode 9, but it's kind of episode 1 of coronavirus updates. It's Dunzo. You can find us at North Wrestling NCL on Facebook and YouTube, North_NCL on Twitter and Instagram, northwrestling.pivotshare.com to subscribe to our on-demand service. You can email me at andrew@northwrestling.co.uk for any correspondence. Big thanks to Grapple Clothing, Pins and Knuckles, and to you, the North Faithful.
He knows where to point it. There you go.
I love you.
WrestleMania is that way.
Wrestling Mania.